Originally built in the early 1900s by Kansas City businessman Robert Schneider, who was then tragically died in one of Missouri's first automobile accidents in 1906.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. That had to be a Model T.
That is not something you want to be famous for.
No, no.
Where'd you bring me today, Jeff? You gonna club me? Throw me out into the lake?
Distinct possibility.
I don't know if you get much ransom for a realtor.
That's a good outtake. All right, you ready?
Yep.
You want to know the best reason, in my opinion, to live at the Lake of the Ozarks?
Please do.
A boat ride on a weekday in November, which is something you're never doing if you don't live here.
Annie's jealous right now. I told her where I was going. She goes, what? I said, sorry, it's for work.
You know,
somebody's got to do it.
I was going to say, you know, if anybody who actually sticks with these videos, and God bless you if you do, by the way, we talk at the end, where are we going to go next month? And last month, you know, we were out at Mecca Farms, which is now over, and we said, where are we going to go? And we didn't know. And I remember we mentioned, if the weather cooperates, maybe we can do a boat ride. And we're here in Ha Ha Tonka, if you recognize behind us, which usually is incredibly beautiful this time of year, and it still is, but because of, again, another dry summer, it's not quite as colorful as it should be.
A little bit dry back in September and October, but there is no reason why you couldn't come back here, set up a little table, have a desk, do a Zoom video. Totally pass this off for a backdrop. Nobody would believe you that it's real.
It's true, yeah. We are at the beginning of November, so if you're down here, you already know that we've got a week of warm weather. This is a 65-degree day. I know we've got some 70-degree days, and then some cold's gonna hit us. This could be it. You never know. Most likely not. There'll probably be some other days, but...
I know. I feel a cough coming on.
There's 1,000,000%. It's going to be some golf getting played. So, Jesse, you brought up some fun facts that I'd like you to share about Ha Ha Tonka, because I'm really familiar with this park because we live near here. You're closer to Lake of the Ozarks State Park. Share with our audience here some of the cool, fun facts about Ha Ha Tonka.
I mean, my family moved down here in '82, so I've, you know, had my handful of family trips up to here, but it's always cool going back through all just the stats on it. It's quite amazing. Originally built in the early 1900s by Kansas City businessman Robert Schneider, who was then tragically died in one of Missouri's first automobile accidents in 1906.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. That had to be a Model T.
That is not something you want to be famous for.
No. Building this beautiful mansion up here, yeah.
So he never got to see it completed. His sons finished it in 1922, but it burned down in 1942. I mean, can you imagine building a castle, an all-rock house, and it burns down?
That's crazy.
That's some luck.
That's before the days of arson, I think. Insurance fraud.
Oh, man. Big spring here. Jeff, he knows the way around this island back here. It's got a spring with some rapids on it.
Yep.
A little bit of cliff jumping back here.
Yep.
Apparently one of Missouri's largest spring, flowing an average of 48 million gallons per day. And it's not a hot spring.
No.
It's a cold spring.
No.
It's a great little cool off in the summertime.
Yeah, if you've never been back here in Cove, Jesse was just asking me, where do we cove? And the answer is you come as deep as you can here. And what you do is you swim over to this corner, which you could probably see over my shoulder. And you have to get out of the water. You climb over just a little hill, nothing big. And it's about 10 or 15 feet. And it's like a little rapid, so to speak. And you climb in the water before you get to the area you can't go, and you just kind of wade down, and the water, it's like an ice bath, cold. And then you all of a sudden you hit the lake water, and bam, you know, it increases by 25, 30 degrees. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a fun thing to do. Yeah.
Especially when it's hot out.
Yeah.
Especially.
Yeah, it's fun.
This became a Missouri State Park in 1978, covering about 3,700 acres, over 15 miles of hiking trail. Jeff is all familiar with those. I know Annie talks about running the stairs all the time. She has not sold me on that yet. But she doesn't stop. Big bluff views. That's one of the most photographic points of Lake of the Ozarks, especially this time of year when the leaves are changing, up there by the water tower.
Yep. You can look down and see kind of the spring area too, so you can see that clear blue water. It's really neat, yeah.
And free admission.
And free admission.
Drive out here, check it out.
Yep.
You got an upper parking lot, and then there's also a lower parking lot.
Yep.
At the bottom of the hill, lots of trails all around. Lakefront, there's a nice lady out trying to catch some fish right off their day dock. It's just, Lake of the Ozarks has some really nice state parks around here.
Yeah, there's a lot of natural things too. Like there's a natural bridge that you can walk around and through, over and through, and there's more trails in here than you can touch in a day.
Tons of caves.
Yeah,
the Coliseum. So just for a reference, we are west of Camdenton at Ha Ha Tonka. The Grand Glazed Bridge is at the 19-mile marker. How many miles would somebody have to travel to get here by water?
It's about 15 miles, I think, down the Big Niagara. So 19 to 31 is 12, plus 15 is 27. So yeah, I'd say 25 to 30 miles.
And if you're on a paddleboard, you can make it.
It's been done longer than that.
It's been done longer than that.
Yeah. Okay, Jesse, that leads us to yet another market update. The year is winding down, and we've got the month of October for you to enlighten us about.
And it's been a hot one.
Really?
It is something I would call it a comeback, something that we are longing for the St. Louis Cardinals to pull off. Of what now both lakefront condos and lakefront homes have been seeing in our market. Fascinating. We're ready for the Cardinals to come around.
I thought you were going to say make the playoffs.
Bring it around. Playoffs! One of the most compelling narratives in our 25 market is dramatic reversal we've witnessed after a sluggish spring season, which I'm counting March, April, May. The past 3 months, lakefront homes have sold 70 more homes in the past 3 months than in our spring season of March, April, May.
Really?
70 more homes this fall, which I know August, we're still summertime.
So you're counting August?
August, September,
okay.
October.
Okay.
These past 3 months beat out March, April, May by 70 lakefront homes. That's the number of transactions. Condos, 40 more condos sold in these past 3 months than our spring.
Wow. So what does that tell you?
That is really bucks the trend for our historical numbers.
Really?
Those numbers, we see those kinds of numbers in the springtime. And our spring was a bust. It just never really took off like how the demand was.
Is that because of the way rates have been, you think?
Blame it on interest rates, blame it on tariffs, blame it on just people not comfortable making a decision. And I tell you, in these past few weeks, I was in a multiple offer situation on a lakefront home this weekend with 3 bidders on it. And it was, how bad do you want it? Because somebody wants it really bad. And that's occurring out there multiple times on homes that have been updated, they have good docks, and they have deep water. Really key combinations. And even condos. I got to get back to a guy now and tell him he just got awarded the contract on a condo we got to put together.
That's exciting.
I mean, condos have been moving. I know, it's one of my favorite calls. So yeah, condos have been moving, and we haven't been saying that very much this year at all.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So as we talk about our October 2025 market update, we've got a really big swing in momentum that's bringing the market up, saving it from some of its losses. Typical, our market is slowing this time of year and we're ramping up. So for lakefront homes in October, we saw 105 new lakefront home listings compared to 81 in 2024. That's a 30% increase in new listings. So people are still putting their homes on the market saying, hey, I want to sell this place. Year to date, new listings continue to grow, 15% rise. Currently, there are 387 lakefront homes on the market, 106 more than this time last year. Imagine that. October's median lakefront sale price, $635,000, decreased slightly, 1.5% from October 24, about $9,500. Year to date, our median sale prices remained really in line with last year, $627,000 compared to last year at $625,000, virtually flat. However, average sale price continues to tell a different story, and that just goes to our luxury market that really pulls up from that median price. So our average sale price is up 11% on the year for a lakefront home. Lakefront home sales, 71 sales in this October versus 64 last year. So we had 7 more home sales, 11% increase. Year to date, we're up 5.5%. We're up by 30 homes, lakefront homes year to date. So lakefront homes has been really getting in there and swinging the bat.
As it should.
October homes averaged 52 days on market compared to last year at 41. That's a 27% increase. Year to date, we're seeing 48 days on market versus 42 days last year. That's a 15.3% increase in days on market. We're getting more inventory on there, it kind of makes sense for some things. People have some more time to make decisions on properties that just aren't what I call the cream puff property right out the gate. Listed sale price ratio has been holding pretty steady. In October it was 96.1, last month 96.3, which was in line with last October, 96.3%. When I talk about listed sale price ratio, just what is that list price and what is it ultimately bought for? And when we see a gap, we see more negotiations happening, typically through inspections or initial offer. Months of supply improved for sellers to 6.5 months from September 7 months, so we took down a half a month's supply, and that's been trending down since our peak in July at 8 months. Last October, we were at 5.5 months, so we had a bit of a spike, and now we're reining back in from that. We had some turmoil, we had some things going on, we had a new president, we had tariffs, we had some stuff to work through, and high interest rates was taking its toll. And I think
25.
I think everybody was ready for them to come down, they just had to wait for it.
I think everybody thought that a new president would immediately impact things, but yeah.
Bang, everything's
fixed. We should
fixed.
just know better than that.
Yeah. Lakefront home value continues to climb. It's up 17.25% over last year. So great strength in the lakefront home market. Lakefront homes for sale by price bracket, 300 to 500, 58 homes, just down 2 from last month at 60. 500 to 750, 77 homes, down 9 homes from last month. 750 to 999,000, 55 homes, up 5 homes from last month. 1 million to 2 million, 45 homes, down 6 from last month. And 2 to 5 million, 42 homes, up 3 homes from last month. Over 5 million, 8 homes. And it's not really 8 homes. There was one large property, the Carson property, got split up and just listed another way at a lesser price.
I didn't know that. Tell me more.
Now you know.
Oh,
do you watch my videos?
Evidently, I missed that one.
So summary for Lakefront Homes, October delivered really strong results. Sales were up nearly 11% over last year. Months of supply trending down from where we were in July to 6.5 months. Year to date, volume's up 17%. That just demonstrates a healthy market for the Lakefront homes. 308 total active listings on the market currently. 161 of those have reduced the price. That's 52.3%. Holding relatively steady from last month at 52 flat. Luxury market remains the star performer, pulling that average sale price up to 11%. Now on to lakefront condos.
Bring it.
I mean, have we been excited to talk about lakefront condos this year?
I mean, usually it's when we go,
It's like getting punched in the face and then taking another one. New condo listings in October increased to 92 compared to 85 in last year. So that's only up 7 condos from last October. 8.25% gain. Year to date, new listings are up 17%. 387 condos currently on the market versus 372 last year. So we're only talking about 15 condos more in our inventory, and we've really shaken off some of that inventory so far this year. And that to me suggests that we're starting to find a footing. Maybe this was the bottom of the lull for the condos. October's median condo sale price, $328,500, decreased 6.14% from $350 in October 2024. Year to date, our median price 1.5% decline to $330,000 compared to $335,000. So I think that's some of the bottoming out that we're seeing, and sales are starting to pick up at that price. Condo sales exploded with 60 units sold versus 41 in October 2024. So that is up 19 more condos sold this October than last.
Wow.
An exceptional 46.3% increase. And that's just that buyer demand. I've got people I've been working with for 6 months, and they said, you know what, we're not getting any younger. We're ready to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
If the condo market goes up, it goes down, we're gonna ride this thing out for a few years.
Do you think it has anything to do with the fact too that over the last year with like the insurance stuff and all of the changes with condos and whatnot, maybe there was a little bit of stagnation because people were waiting to see. I mean, that's like why we sold when we sold, which was a little bit over a year ago. Do you think that had something to do with?
Well, I think there was a lot of the buyers that were in during that time period was like, whoa, I don't know where this thing's going. You had a lot of buyers on the sideline going, whoa, why are those prices going up so much? And I kind of feel like that initial shock has worn off, and it's maybe it's not for everybody, but the people that have been waiting for it kind of understand it's not going to get any cheaper. I'm tired of pacifying time. If this is the bottom of a market, if we can negotiate very much right now, let's go ahead and enter into it and ride this thing for the long term. And what it may be, may be. But we're going to have a good time waiting for it. And if interest rates come down, perfect, we'll refinance. But we're still dealing with cash buyers out there for sure.
Nice.
Average days on market increased to 66 days from last October's 49, and that comes hand in hand with the inventory that we've seen. That's a 33% increase. Year to date shows 68 days versus 49 days from last year. Just attributed back to that inventory. List to sale price ratio decreased to 96.73 from last October's 98.06. So that 1.33% drop. So sellers are negotiating. Year to date, we're at 96.67 compared to last year at 97.86, so 1.2%, right around in there. And this gives buyers just more room to negotiate and feel comfortable about getting into a property. Everybody loves to feel like they got a discount, right? Yeah. Months of supply improved dramatically from 10.2 months from our August peak of 12 months. So we've come down 1.8 months in supply, which is a big deal. We've got a lot of supply out there to shake off, but when we get that increased buyer demand, that's going to even out pretty quick. So we're still in a buyer's market for you sellers out there. Year to date, the condo volume has contracted by only 4.5%. I mean, we were off by 13% just a few months ago. So our condos don't call it a comeback. This is what they're doing. Lakefront condos available by bedroom count. 2 bedrooms available, 119, down from September's 130. 3 bedrooms available, 205, down from September's 230. Ooh. So they shook off 25 3-bedroom condos this past month.
Wow.
Yeah. 4 bedrooms, up 1 condo to 26. 387 active listings total, 170 have had price reductions. That's 44%, relatively flat from last month. October's 46% sales surge represents a watershed moment for the condo market for sure. After months of adjustment, buyers are responding enthusiastically to current pricing. Months of supply trending down from 12 to 10.2 months, combined with declining inventory and fewer price reductions, all point to a market finding its footing. Condo sellers who price realistically are being rewarded, while buyers recognize that the easy negotiating may be coming to an end. This fall surge isn't just about seasonal patterns, it's different. It reflects buyers who've been waiting on the sidelines and they're ready to get in there and make their decision and make a move. As we head into typical slower months, this may be a good sign for the beginning of 2026. Key takeaways for buyers on lakefront homes: months of supply improving to 6.5 in consistent sales activity. You have selection and leverage, but the market is tightening on your inventory, giving you fewer options. Quality properties are moving and still getting into multiple offers. Waiting too long may mean missing the opportunity to negotiate, especially as we see fall momentum build as it has been. For condo buyers, October's 46% sales explosion, clear signal, buyers are back and active. While you still have negotiating power with 10.2 months of inventory, that inventory is declining and fewer sellers are reducing their prices. The exceptional buyer's market may be transitioning, so get into it before it heats up by next spring. The off season, this Q4, Q1, is the historically your best list to sale price ratio for a buyer to negotiate with a seller. Once we get into that spring, we're gonna have a lot more buyers in the market and you won't be able to get as good of a deal. For sellers on lakefront homes, strong year-to-date volume up 17% and improving months of supply demonstrate a healthy market with well-priced properties. With 52% of listings having reduced prices, day one competitive pricing remains essential. The luxury market continues to shine out there. For lakefront condo sellers, the October sales surge validates realistic pricing strategies. We're not going to get that sky-high pricing. If we go into the market reasonable compared to what else is out there available for buyers, there is a buyer pool out there right now. Fewer listings are reducing their prices. Sellers who align with the market realities are finding success. The adjustment period appears to be ending. We'll see. Like the Ozarks is very much known. Once we get into Thanksgiving, people are thinking about the holiday parties, Christmas, New Year's, and vacation, but buyers are ready to jump in. Yeah. So bottom line, the market is still very active, and it's very essential that you have a professional realtor that can give you comps so you can formulate a strategic offer for when you find the one. And I love finding people the one, but we also have to go through a process. It's an initial phone call, me asking you strategic questions to learn about you, us going out and looking at a few houses that we think are the one, but we really don't know until you walk houses at Lake of the Ozarks. They're all different. Jeff, you've seen a few homes. You've seen photos of homes and then walked into a home and said, wow, this is nothing what I thought this home was going to be. So once we make a connection, we'll go through a buyer's process. We'll go out, look at a few homes, and I'll pick up on some key stuff for you, just so I can learn more about you and where you're at in the process. And then when you're back at home in Iowa and Kansas City, St. Louis, and there's a property that pops up, I'll know exactly like, hey, this is something you need to get serious about coming down to the lake and taking a look at. So give me a shout, 573-260-0868. Let's set up a buyer process call. For sellers, you see how much I've digged into the numbers here. So when you call me up, you want to know a valuation on your home, absolutely free. Even if you're just curious, maybe you're thinking about selling in the spring, maybe you're thinking about refinancing and you just want to know what your home is worth. I can come up with a pretty good idea if there's information on your home on the market. If not, I can come out, talk to you, take a look around really quick. When I come out, we can go over the listing process and everything that we do unique as a brokerage, coupled with Lake Expo, where we had 1.5 million property exposures just last month in an off season in October. 1.5 million property exposures from where people are going to a place for news and seeing a house and going, wow, look at that house. So I'd be happy to go over our listing process with you, what makes us unique, different that nobody else does, exposure that nobody else can get you, coupled with Jeff Pfitzer stuff. You're already here. Didn't you see it? You're seeing it. Give me a shout. I'd be happy to take you through that system and put you in front of where buyers already are.
And if you made it this far, once again, God love you. God bless you.
Oh, they're out there. I get people that reach out to me all the time.
I love you. We love you. And that means there's only one thing left to do.
You gonna jump in the water this time?
No, gosh, no. I did do that one time. Remember? That was like in July. Let's talk about where we think we're going to be in December. God willing, here's my prediction. Maybe I should say Mother Nature willing. We're going to be on a golf course.
On a golf course.
We're going to be playing golf for the December update. Or push comes to shove, we can go to the lounge again. But
you know, it's not a bad idea, but I have heard about this whiskey and cigar bar. I've been wanting to check out.
Twist my arm.
So maybe right there by the Glazed Bridge.
Yeah, okay.
Have you heard about it?
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we go fit in some golf and then go relax there.
Which, by the way, on that note too, and I don't know anything more about it. I just saw a Facebook post about it today that one of the tavern restaurants has just opened up a cigar and whiskey lounge as well.
What a fantastic idea.
I agree. Maybe we'll have to go to both. Can we get an Uber driver, please?
Who wants to sign up? We got jokes for the whole ride.
All right, man. See you next month.
All right.
Thanks for this.
Take care. See you guys.